Hey, it's Dr. Karen, and in this week's edition of the Healthy Habits, Healthy Life, I want to talk to you about this ancient Chinese method called cupping. And in cupping, we use this very simple procedure to help move blood and qi, which is vital force in the body, to help improve the energy system of the body and also decrease pain and increase mobility. So there are more modern versions of this particular technique, and I'm just going to stick with pretty simple today. So there in the past, we would use glass cups in the acupuncture office. It would take some skill, and I've taught some people how to do it, um, where you light a cotton ball that's soaked in alcohol and you put it in the glass cup and you stick it on the body, and you can see the red marks coming up in the body. So similar to last week's video where we talked about gua sha, doing something similar, cupping gua sha can do many of similar things, similar benefits, if you will. The nice thing about cupping is that once you put the cup on, it's fairly passive. It's almost like some people feel it sucks the toxins to the surface. And then there's a more advanced method called moving cups, which is often for pain. And although I have used it to activate the acupuncture points on the back to kick out cold symptoms, it's really often used for pain. And a lot of massage therapists as well as acupuncturists use it. So I want to share with you the easiest way that you can do it. The glass cups are a little bit more difficult to use. Not only can you set something on fire, but the glass can potentially break, and they require a certain skill to put on, and you can't actually put it on yourself. When you, for example, if you need to cup your arm, you need two hands to use the glass cup, so it's really meant for a practitioner to be used on someone else for the glass cups. But the really cool thing is you could get silicone cups now that work just as well, or pretty much just as well, and they have some advantages as well. So I'm going to show you a picture of what these silicone cups look like. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen here for a sec. Let's go to this window here. And let's see. There we go. I'm going to open up this page here. So I put the link in near this video as well. So you can, try them out. They're really inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon. At the time that I got them years ago, these silicone cups, which were fairly new at the time, I got them from an acupuncture needle place that professionals would get it. And so I started using them, and they're from China. And these silicone cups come in many different sizes. Now, I seem to have misplaced my smallest one, but I'll share some of the ones that I have. I've got the kind of a large, or an extra large, large, and then like a medium, and then there's like a small. And what's really, really cool is, for example, here is like one example of the different sizes that you can get. Okay. So these are silicone. The really cool thing about these guys is that they, first of all, don't break, right? They wash really well. They're easy to use. And I'm going to share with you how you would do that, how you would use them. And so there are many, many options. Now they have even my favorite color, purple. I have way too many cups at home, so I don't have an excuse to buy yet another set. But these generally work really, really well. And so, hang on, let me stop sharing for a moment here and come back to you guys. So I'm going to show you how you would use these cups. So most people, generally speaking, would use them at home for painful areas. Now, um, we say don't use them on broken skin. In the acupuncture clinic, there are times where we do that on purpose, where we actually bleed the person and put them in the glass cups. That's very specialized use. So I would not recommend that you do that necessarily. And if you're not licensed to do that kind of thing, but for example, when somebody had shingles and they had the pain from shingles, which is really, really severe, what we used to do is a form of bloodletting. I know it sounds barbaric, but it's amazingly, amazingly effective. So we would take a sterile hypodermic needle and we would just nip the skin just a little bit along the pathway of the shingles pain. And then we would put the glass cups on top of that and suck the blood out. Yeah, don't worry, you won't get anemic and faint, but you suck some of the blood out, and then we would wipe it clean, and of course sterilize the cups and things like that. And it's amazing how immediate the pain relief was, because pain in Chinese medicine is stuck blood or stuck energy. So with the shingles, there is that sticky or stuck blood and energy. So if you move the blood, it often will release the energetic block and the pain symptom goes away. So that was incredibly successful. And for acute, like recent shingles, worked like a charm. For chronic shingles, it took multiple times. Like people would come in like once every few days, to get that done. If it was acute, you would come in every day to get it done. Yeah, it hurts a little bit at the time, but the pain from shingles is much, much worse. So it's well worth it. Anyway, so that's what we would do in the office. Now, what can you do at home? Not bloodletting, but what can you do at home? So the way these work is that the vacuum is created by putting pressure on the cup and having one side open so you can push the air out. With a glass cup, they're not flexible, right? So you need the vacuum from the fire, from the cotton ball that's on fire to suck the air out. Now these are really convenient because you don't need fire. You can do it in front of the TV. It's very simple. They're very inexpensive. The thing you do need to know is that it doesn't work well if somebody's really hairy. So it may not stick as well. So you'll try it out and see if it works for you. You may have to shave the area, whatever, if you're having issues there. So again, don't put it on broken skin. You want to place the cups. I'll show you the first method. So the first method is, say you have an area of pain that you want to try the cupping on. And I'll just pretend that it's, say, on my shoulder. Okay, so say the pain is here on the shoulder. So I put the cup where I want it on the shoulder. Okay, approximate it. Then I put my palm on it and I lift one side as I'm pressing the air out so the air can escape. Then I let go of the edge and then it sticks on. Now, if it pops off, it could be that you have too much of the edge open, or it's a timing thing that you're not, squishing the air out and then moving your hand really, really quickly away so it'll stick on. You'll get the hang of it. The other possibility, if it falls off, is that the cup is too big for that area. Sometimes the fascia, the skin is so tight that if you put a cup on, it just falls off because it will not flex. That is not a good thing. So you may have to use a smaller cup. Sometimes the smaller cups are more intense. So when you feel it, it should feel like a little bit of a sucking sensation, but not like intensely painful. Okay, so if it's intensely painful, you probably do it too hard. So how you get the cup off, or how you lessen the amount of suction, is you just, again, hold the cup with the palm and then just let some of the air out by lifting the edge. So you're lifting the edge and the air just escapes and then it comes off. Now, if you're using the big one, I don't know, the big one might be a little big for my shoulder, but we'll try it. Try to find a spot where I can put it. So if I'm gonna, again, press it really, really hard and open up one of the sides so the air can go out and then let go, right? Yeah, so it's a little bit too big for my arm. Let me see if I can do it further down here. And sometimes it gives you a little fart sound, which is really fun. Okay, there you go. So my arm is big enough, so it's stuck here. And sometimes, one time I think I said to my husband, because I put it in some spot and I couldn't reach it to get it off. I said, "Can you take my cup off?" Right. Well, I forgot to remind him how to do this. He's trying to pull it, right? He's trying to pull the whole thing. I'm like, "Ow, ow, 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 no, 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 no. That's not how you do it. That's not how you take the cup off. You gotta break the seal." Okay. So if you just put I'll do it this way. If you just put your finger and you break the seal, there you go. Right. So you can see there's a little bit of a red mark. This will go away over time. Now, some people, with the tighter the cup, the more red it'll be. Sometimes it'll be purpley, which is stagnant blood and energy. So you definitely need cupping at that point, or in an over sore spot. So you just break the seal to get it off. Don't try to pull the whole thing off. It just doesn't work very well. Same thing if it's too tight. Just put your finger on the edge and just let a little bit of the air, in, and then close it back up so it's um, less tight. Or you could start all over again. Just pop it off and just press less hard next time, right, when you put it on. So that's kind of like sip away. And then how long do you put it on? Most people would say about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, about 10 minutes or so. I made the mistake one time of falling asleep with it pretty darn tight on my arm. I had a painful spot here, and I put it on my arm, and my skin tends in the past to tattoos. So I fell asleep. It felt so comfortable. I fell asleep. I woke up, took it off, and it felt like burning when I took it off. And the top epidermal layer had lifted off, and I literally got a couple blisters. Yeah, not so good. Do not fall asleep with your cups on really tight like that. So those blisters took months to rub out. It wasn't dangerous or anything, just unsightly, but just try not to do that, okay? um, the other thing I wanted to share with you is what was it here? Okay, so that's your cupping. You can put multiple cups around the painful area. Keep in mind, if you put the cups too close to each other, one of them is going to pop off because you're going to break the seal by moving the skin a lot. I like to get two sets. So if you've got like a medium size, you have two large, two medium, two small, two extra small, whatever, because it gives you variation. The really, really tiny one, which I have seemed to misplace, which is very common because it's so tiny, would be good for like the neck area. But that does tend to pop off. But you can't even use glass cups in the area. It's too small unless you're using Medi cupping, which is a more modern version where they actually use a machine to suck the air out, and it takes a little bit of skill to do that. The machines are hundreds of dollars. This is much cheaper. Normally, go to the massage therapist who is Medi cupping specialist or certified to get that done. They have humongous cups like for your butt, like this big, and then they have teeny, 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 tiny ones, glass ones for your face, which is absolutely amazing, but pretty pricey if you were to buy it for yourself, unless you're using it every day or something. It may not be worth it for you. Um, so, so for pain, right? So let's say, you have a pain in the shoulder area. So you would just, I don't know if you could hear that, but you could squirt the air out. Then you put the cup on, 10 minutes, hold it there. What I like to do sometimes is if I know like it's sticky, like my muscles are, is stuck, I'll actually with the cup, I'll actually move the joint. And that helps to move blood and chi as well. And then afterwards, when you again break the seal, you take it off, you may have a red mark there. And you may have seen, for example, Karate Kid with Jackie Chan. It's the newer version of it, and where he does cupping with glass cups, of course, the traditional way with the young student that he has. And so you can see an example of that. So I'll share with you, let's go ahead and share with you what it looks like. Let me go ahead and share screen again here. Okay, so image cupping. So we'll show you what it looks like on the, there we go. So here's an example of the bloodletting kind of cupping. I don't recommend that you do this yourself. Here's another image of that. This one is a great image of what it looks like with the cups on. So I'll just show that to you here in a bigger, so you can see it in a bigger screen there. So this is just feels so good. Now it's a little harder to do on yourself, of course, way back here, so you may need help. But the nice thing is you can sort of reach, the low back and sometimes the upper shoulders, to do the cupping on yourself. So this is what the cupping marks look like when there's stuff to release. They often will start bright red and then go to a more darker purpley color. The more purple it is right away, the more stagnant the blood and energy. Sometimes people do gua sha and cupping at the same time. So this is an example of the blistering I was talking about, which is not preferred. Yeah, so here, this person, the cups were on too long. and then that blistered. So 10 minutes is usually pretty safe. Some people have, like myself, a really high tolerance for pain. So sometimes you don't even know it's blistering. Again, it's very unlikely. It's not harmful, but just unsightly. It's very unlikely that you're going to do harm. So in this case, you can see there's actually ups and downs here as well, right? It looks like there's like somebody painted the back. Well, this is called moving cups. So let's see if we can find another. I think that is cupping. Let's see if we can do, say, acupuncture cupping. Let's see if it gives us some more. Okay, so here's a picture of, having the cotton ball and you light it on fire, and this is how you would place it. Although they haven't placed it on there because you can't see nothing sucked up on there. Let's see if there's a better one. Well, that one looks like nothing sucked up either. Here's one where the skin's actually sucked up. It looks hilarious. It looks like you've been attacked by an octopus. And so this is incredibly supportive of the immune system and increased blood flow and qi. And these are very important acupuncture points in the back. So we often will do cupping on the back for back pain as well as immune issues and other issues, depending on what the acupuncturist is working on. For you, I would say do it for pain because it's more accessible for your knee and ankle and your not ankle, sorry, your knee and your leg and different places. Okay, so these are just all pictures you can find online about what it looks like for cupping. And of course, you can find a YouTube video on silicone cupping as well. So this person is definitely loaded up with cups. This acupuncturist has a lot of cups here. And you can see in this particular picture, you can see that the angel wing areas are much darker, right? Now, some of it has to do with how intense the flame is and how quickly you remove it, how much suction you get, but you can adjust the suction for yourself. And as long as it's not terribly, painful, it's pretty easy to use. So now let's talk about moving cups. This is really, really good for musculoskeletal pain. Again, you want to avoid areas that have broken skin. So what you want to do is get some sort of oil or oily cream. So because you're going to be moving the cups back and forth. Now this is more painful, so you may or may not tolerate it, or you may need help to do it. Now what I have here with me is a CBG balm. It's similar to CBD, but I believe CBG is the parent molecule of CBD. Could be wrong. But this has CBG and CBD. Some people actually respond better. It's actually a pain reliever, and this is a balm you can get at Elmer Mountain Therapeutics. And I'll put the link near this video. And I actually got you guys a coupon as well, Dr. Karen 10 for 10% off. So Ashley knows that I referred you, and then you can get the discount like I do. So you can take the balm, and like I said, you can use any oil, that you want, Tiger Balm, whatever it is you want to do. And then you want to get that area, nice and oily so you can move the cups. Okay. And then we'll take the little cup here and I'll just put it somewhere in the middle. So we'll see if the suction that I have is good enough. So I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to move it up and down. Yep. And it feels a little burny, so that's good. Okay. So if I just pull on it, it shouldn't come off. Then I know there's enough suction. Now I have a spot here that it feels like there's a little bit of a bump. So I'm going to go over that spot a little bit more because there's some stuff there. I can feel it. So where it's sore normally is where you need it. So I'm just going back and forth, like don't go in circles, just go back and forth over the area and wherever your balm is or whatever your oil is. Now the deltoid area, which is this where this muscle comes and attaches, tends to be really tight in most people. Like you cannot even pick up, I cannot, me anyway, pick up the skin separately from there. So there's definitely adhesions in this area, fascial adhesions. So I'm just going back and forth. I can go this way as well, but for me, up and down is better. And I'm just going to wear. So can you see that? That's the sha. So it's coming out. We talked about gua sha last time. We still call it the sha, but so I'm just going over areas that are a little bit sore. I'm going to go down my triceps a little bit more. I did a bunch of bench press the other day. So I'm working on the front of my shoulders. I can definitely feel there's some stuff on the front of my shoulders as well. So I didn't even know what was going to happen here. So I'm just demonstrating. So I'm going to get that nice and oily. It's not really that oily, but it's smooth, right? Because you can't really move the cup, if you don't have something there. Creams sometimes will, it'll be too liquidy. So it'll evaporate and then you're kind of stuck. But if you have something that's like this balm, it's perfect because it'll stay slippery while you work it. So I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. So you can see, woo, there's a good one. You can see some Shaw there, right? So that's where there's stagnation and some releasing some fascia here. So it looks worse than it feels. It actually isn't that bad. It's like a little bit like sore, but not too bad. Of course, I do have a high tolerance for pain. So I'm just keep going to the area until there's no more red stuff coming up. And then you go to the side where there isn't that much red and there's nothing. Yeah, see, can you see that area? There's not much there, right? And I'm going over just as much. And then I go over to the back area and do some more on the back. And then here, the skin is looser, so I can even push it in tighter and go back and forth. And I have to go a little bit slower. It's more sore. So I go back and forth a little bit slower. Good thing I don't have to wear a ball gown tomorrow, right? Go up and down, and you're just releasing it. It's really, really good to release the fascia. Is one way of doing it. Yep, so you can kind of see the red marks here. And it's amazing. This will disappear like at least 50% by tomorrow. So this is bright red, so this is pretty recent. I'm doing a lot of workouts, things like that. And then if I wanted to, I could just stick it and leave it there for a little while. Like you can just even park it. That's what we call it. We can park it. And if you're like, well, I don't feel anything, you can even push it and push out more air, and then it'll be even suckier there. So there you go. That is gua sha. It's that's cupping. It's like I said, fairly easy to do. It's really inexpensive. I'd say do it on yourself first. Practice on your thigh is the easiest way to practice with the different sizes of cups. It's really good to do this on your extremities as well because it's amazing, even if they're not hurting, just how tight our fascia is. And it's a great release and get that blood flow in that area. Some people find they like this better than gua sha. Other people like gua sha better because it gets to the nooks and crannies. Like, for example, it's hard to do cupping on the top of your foot or the top of your hand, right? Because all the bones, it's just too much air would be let out. But you can use the cupping for, say, your low back. You take one of the big ones and just pop it on your low back or your hip, right? It's a lot easier than trying to like gua sha back here on your hip. So have fun with cupping. Let me know what your experience is with cupping, whether it be acupuncturist doing it for you or you doing it for yourself or family member. What is it like for you? What has it helped? Woo! So right now I can feel lots of warmth in this area. Like I have like a little bit of a heating pad here. It's great. I can feel the blood like moving. It's really kind of cool. So even though this is not necessarily an instructional video per se, but just an introduction, just use your intuition on trying it out, and of course common sense. And if you feel like, oh my gosh, it's too painful, then don't do it, right? Then don't do it. But it's relatively easy to do and a nice little habit for folks that want a more natural way of treating health, increasing their circulation, and decreasing pain. So thanks so much for joining me for this episode of the Healthy Habits, Healthy Life. I look forward to next week. We'll have another tip for you and hope you enjoy this. Please comment below this video and let me know what you think. And if you're on YouTube, definitely hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up if you like this video and the notification bell. So every time I do a new video, you will be notified. All right. See you next week. Bye.